My name is Dan Lehrer, and I'm with Little Apple Treats. It's a small business in West Sonoma County that's run by my wife, Joanne, and me. And at the moment, I am about to cut a batch of apple cider caramels, which is a candy that uses the apples from our organic farm, on this machine, which is an old K-Kiss wrapper named Virgil. Now, Virgil is about 110 years old, plus or minus. Unfortunately, no birth certificate, and so we don't exactly know his age. We've been using Virgil, that is to say, I've been using Virgil for about 9 years, and I've almost figured out how it works. In the event you see something go completely haywire, just realize that it's been worse, and we'll get through it. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is you cue up the candy. So what happens is that there's all these gears, and two things really happen here. There's one set of knives right here. This knife spins around and around and around. In fact, here, let's do this. Okay. So this knife, you see what's happening here. Knife is spinning around, and then these rollers with these bumps that grabs the candy, feeds through there. Don't stick your finger in here when it's going. That's a really bad idea. Feeds the candy through here, cuts the candy. The candy then gets pushed by this brass piece. This is so cool. Anyway, excuse me. There's a brass piece here. It's called the pusher. And maybe if you can you see straight down? There you go. Okay, now the pusher, it's pushing the candy into this piece called the socket wheel, and it times it so it goes forward like that. And then at the same time, there's this thing here. This is a roll of wax paper, and this paper goes through this spindle here, like that. And as the candy gets put into the pusher, the wax paper wraps around the candy. Now, one thing about Virgil is that it doesn't work unless everything's here together, but you get the idea. So here's the scissors that cuts the paper, and at the end, wire jaws will wrap the piece of candy. That's when everything's going right. Doesn't always, so here we go. This particular one is an apple cider caramel with rose petal and cocoa nibs. And the rose petals are dehydrated rose petals that come from our garden. The reason this machine is named Virgil is because Virgil was Dante's spirit guide in Paradisian Sole. So Virgil led Dante through hell, purgatory, and finally heaven. We spend most of our time in purgatory, sometimes in hell, sometimes in heaven. So, and that's the story.